Good morning, Matt.
Good morning, Will.
Good morning to all of you.
Welcome to Games for Breakfast, the only internet talk show where we talk about this week's gaming and tech news, but where also I don't know what happened at the Super Bowl last night. I don't know. I know who played. I remember that. I don't know who won. I know Bad Bunny killed it. I don't know anything else. And I'm guessing if you're here for this internet talk show about video games and tech news, maybe that Venn diagram is small for you like me, but the usual place I go to watch the Super Bowl or hang out with people and eat a bunch of snacks, that's really what it is for me. I missed. So anyone could literally say, an egg was handed, that's correct. Anyone could say any score in chat right now, and Brad or Janet on Twitch or YouTube, or message me or Will on Blue Sky if you're watching this later on Nebula, and I will believe whatever you tell me happened at the Super Bowl, because I didn't watch it.
I did hear some general amount of rejoicing that the Patriots lost, so.
I'm seeing a lot of great things here. Like, this could be real. 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 This could be real.
Yeah, right.
This could be real.
Yeah, 45 to 5.
I don't know why, but I'll take this one.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
This is all great.
Yeah, this is all 100%. I like this one. The superb owl was appeased, and I'm certain that the losing team was offered as a sacrifice to the owl. You know,
sacrifice is what I do when I go to a Super Bowl party.
That's correct, yeah. Although I did hear, and it is up on the tubes of you, so after you watch this show, if you're inclined, you can go watch Bad Bunny's halftime show.
Yeah, which I need to do.
Which apparently was incredible. I have not yet had an opportunity to watch it because I was busy doing not superb owl things last night, but it is on my list of things to do this evening. So.
Same. I was watching U.S. figure skating. The recap of the U.S. figure skating thing. I did level a little bit in Dragonflight, Will. I was trying to, because I'm not going to have time to do it with you, so I was just trying to blaze through as much as I can.
I was spending time with my one true love, Final Fantasy 14.
That's fair.
Yeah.
But how is everybody doing? How not only how are you all doing right now, but how do you anticipate you'll be doing later in the week? That's a good question to start things off with. What video game-esque leveling system in your own life will you be espousing to make sure things go smoothly?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Because tomorrow, actually, there is one big change coming to the land of video games for sure. There's another one today because we're getting another Deadlock character.
Okay.
There's one in Magic today because there's a banned and restricted announcement.
Sure.
Oh yeah, and then Overwatch is returning to Overwatch and dropping the 2 tomorrow.
The world could use more heroes. -1, and then we're back to the original.
Yeah. So after a long and terrible journey.
Actually, okay, let's hold on. We go hard on Overwatch, I think, because I'm so bitter because the promise of a wonderful meta narrative wrapped around a world that I truly care about felt squandered and knocked over into a free-to-play model that I felt like it couldn't really sustain, and made sure that the first game was devalued at the same time while not offering anything terribly exciting for the free-to-play version. But I want to make sure that everyone listening right now, maybe there's a bunch of people that still play Overwatch. So I don't want to just be the old man yelling at the cloud in this particular situation. How many of y'all still play Overwatch and enjoy Overwatch? I would just show of positive emotes versus negative emotes, and then I'll glean the answer from that.
Yeah.
We got some here. Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Nay. Nah.
No, Dark, I'm that old man.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we have
also true.
Some people.
Yeah. Oh, there we go. We got some. Yeah, it just jumped. So.
Yeah, it do that.
Does Paladins count? No, not for
also,
this particular
Paladins
conversation.
Is dead, isn't it? Didn't
no, I
Hi-Rez...
think can you still play Paladins?
I think Hi-Rez killed Paladins, or they killed all future development of Paladins because they're all in on Smite 2, a game which I have played recently and is incredibly mid. So good job on that one, Hi-Rez. You done something.
As of 8 months ago, you could play it. So it seems like there's a few folks. And Artemis, here's where the heart of the story comes in, I think. I terribly miss Overwatch 1 as well. So when this, in my opinion, they basically did a full, like, what do they call these? Directs? Or not directs, state of play. I don't know what they
like
spotlight. It's called a spotlight.
Right. It's not a treehouse or a state of play or a direct because every company calls it something different, so it's special to them.
And this one started with the first, in my opinion, interesting story moving forward cinematic in a while.
Yeah.
With Doomfist, I don't want to spoil anything, but some comeuppance seem to be had.
Some comeuppance, all the comeuppance, or the come downance. He does,
however you want to put it.
Towards the end, yeah.
You know, it started with a really great cinematic, which I've missed terribly. Also, friend of the show, Carolina Ravassa, got to have some Sombra lines on there, so I was very happy to hear her back there. But after that I actually did very much appreciate, if you didn't watch this thing, they're all like CG'd into Talon's headquarters, like either standing around or sitting at the big chairs, and I thought that was very fun because basically the news that they started with and or buried till the end is instead of going to season 21 in Overwatch 2, they are starting at season 1 and dropping the 2 in general.
Right.
Which of course that is the correct thing to do. Right. I think that there must have been was Overwatch 2, because it moves so fast and everything feels like it was both yesterday and 100 years ago. Did Overwatch 2 release during the middle of the Microsoft acquisition?
I think that sounds correct to me.
Chat, can you help me out on that one? Because essentially it felt like it was two or multiple groups of people in control of the IP, like kind of like jockeying for what this thing was gonna be.
Part of the problem is that Overwatch 2 released October 4th, 2022, which is sort of like towards the end of the panini, and we are all like completely incapable of processing time during that.
Yeah. R2 asks a great question. So what happens when someone has Overwatch 2 installed on their computer? Great question. You have to buy a physical disc for $40. No.
And yes, it was in the middle of the acquisition. So
okay.
The acquisition was announced January 18th, 2022, and it was completed October 13th, 2023. So
okay.
It was like dead set in the middle of that whole transitional period where everything was moving through the courts and figuring it out.
Okay, cool. So, to answer that question for real that R2 asked, I believe nothing. It just changes. They're going to and we're going to go over all the sort of changes that they brought up and talked about, which I think a lot of them are very, very good. I think I am very glad to see them rectifying this mistake. Now, granted, the game director, whose name is escaping me right now, has gone on record saying that no one believed, and this is what they kind of have to say, right? Like, no one believes that adding the 2 or doing the 2 was a mistake. I feel like, and I understand you can't do this because of the corporate town USA, but like, I think it would, like, I think the fans would be like, if you were just like, yeah, it was a mistake. Like, we wanted to do this stuff. We got caught up in the acquisition. Stuff gets complicated. We're really sorry. Look at all the cool stuff we're doing right now. I think the goodwill they're experiencing here would like catapult. Like, I wish there was more room for that level of honesty in games marketing when it comes to large companies, and there just isn't. Because there's no question. I know that Overwatch 2 was a financial success, but also it allowed other games to come and eat its lunch way faster than Overwatch 1 did, because it became just another version of those other games.
Right.
Where
it
Overwatch,
lost its position.
The original Overwatch did something that, like, I mean, it changed the hero shooter.
Yeah.
and solidified it as like, I know there were other hero, obviously Team Fortress 2, but like it took that and wrapped it in a meta narrative with like, I know people might feel certain ways about the Scout or the Heavy or stuff like that, but like this turned it into like an actual full-blown narrative world with characters you cared about. What?
I was gonna say that Meet the Team did that when like
Meet the Team made fun video, but like, do you care about like the Heavy's home life?
I am deeply embedded in the story about whether or not Spy has actually seduced Scout's mother or not. But that's just because I think that's one of the best ways to hook people on that game.
Yeah.
Listen, also Pyro is bae. Like that's all, right?
Sure.
But,
this is all
But I
fine.
will also confess that I am like an OG TF2 player. So like my opinion is not the average opinion, I think.
I'm just saying, when Overwatch 1 dropped, I was so involved with the story that I became a fan of hero shooters. Like, truly. Like, I cared about Mei and Winston and Reaper and Genji. Literally, in my future wife, Jamie, and when I met her on an online dating app, I literally had a line in my profile that said, Hanzo mains need not apply. Like, that's how hard I went. To the point where, I forget if I've told this story, and she'll probably kill me, but she's walking Laszlo, so it's fine. She came to our first date, and this is one of the sweetest things ever. She came to our first date. She had never heard of Overwatch, didn't know what a Hanzo main was, or whatever, right? And she had like a Post-it note, and she pulled it out. She's like, so, okay. And she like broke down, like trying to understand why I hated a person who played this character so much. And it was a very, 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 very sweet.
Both, by the way, as someone who has met her, that is incredibly sweet and also an incredibly Jamie thing to do.
Yeah. So to say that I was invested is putting it lightly.
Yeah.
I have I have a Reaper and a Widowmaker statue. I have all of the stuff. I have all the comic books and things. And then when 2 dropped, like wind just got taken out of the sails. And I don't even think it was because of the monetary change.
I think they could have got away with the monetary change. It was it felt like a rug pull a bit.
Yeah.
Right?
So now it's all very interesting to see it going back to sort of like larger, bigger budget cinematics and hopefully some interesting characters, though we are facing some stuff. I know Blizzard's facing some backlash about like essentially I forget the term. It's chat. You might know this, like same facing. Like the characters aren't terribly diverse in their body type and or facial structure.
That's correct. One of the new characters, I saw a very interesting video. If you take off their hair and like all their identifying facial stuff, you can swap in any number of other like hair, facial characteristic, kind of like Diva's like face tattoo kind of thing or face paint kind of things. You can just swap those in and out, and it's close enough that it's like you might be able to tell that those aren't the same character, but like they're really close to the same character.
Yeah. And Synchronos also brings a really good thing. What killed me about Overwatch 2 was the flimsy reason behind having to make it a sequel rather than just adding content at a speed at which all became apparent of how much of a lie that excuses were. Exactly, because as originally, if you remember, the promise was a ton of narrative PvE content. Yeah. And you got some, but I think by the time most of it even came out, it was much smaller than anticipated, and I had bailed. Like, I don't know what any of that stuff is.
Yeah. So it feels like if they had just stuck the course and been on this path that they've just revealed, since instead of going the Overwatch 2 route, it and probably Blizzard would be in a better place with the fans. Yeah. Because what they're offering sounds pretty significant, right? They're offering 10 heroes this year, 5 of them tomorrow.
Yeah.
Right? They're doing 5 heroes tomorrow, 5 more, 1 per additional season for 2 through 6 throughout the year, because seasons are 2 months long, I believe.
Yeah.
So they're offering like a whole like choose your side talent Overwatch thing. It feels like they're trying to course correct back to where they feel like they probably should have been before anyone did an Overwatch 2 thing, which good. The question is how many people are going to get back on the Overwatch wagon now that they're back on the course they probably should have been on the entire time before they did like this. This feels like the most Looney Tunes detour, right? The most like hastily done, like side road, like shortcut, poorly drawn sign stuck in the side of the road kind of thing, right? And now they're back on it.
Yeah, but at the same time, like, it's funny. I'm just going down the hero roster right now to see like how behind I am. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I didn't even know. I think from the lore I knew, Vendetta, who then deals with Doomfist, essentially was like a kid the last time I think I paid attention to this game because she's the leader or the founder of Talon's daughter or whatever.
Yes.
Regardless, I think also the move from 6v6 to 5v5 did some damage. I think it changed the dynamic a lot.
They also have gone to great lengths to proscriptively sculpt the player experience. So by that I mean, in many other games, you can choose your total team composition, right? There's not a requirement that you have X number of healers, X number of damage dealers, X number of tanks. Some games say, hey, this is recommended. Some games say, hey, this is demanded. And so they've done a lot to like proscriptively like force the game into that model with role talents, which they're changing, and or role passives, I guess, which they're changing, and the queue system, which is not a good or a bad choice, but is definitely a choice that they've made as part of the move to 5v5 and in general.
Yeah, but now apparently with going from Overwatch to Overwatch 2 back to Overwatch Season 1, I do like that they are sort of trying to make the sub roles a bit more distinct. It seems like, and again, we're going to find out. Actually, this part might even be live already. I don't know. I reinstalled it. I haven't had a chance to play it yet.
I believe that the sub roles are tomorrow as well. With the
okay, so basically, like there's a different kinds of tanks, different kinds of damage, and different kinds of support, which is really nice to help, even in a pickup game with randos, sort of like figure out what is needed and or what you like playing. I think that is incredibly helpful.
It also unflattens the passives, right? Which was kind of a problem, was that all DPS had a singular passive and all healers had a singular passive and all tanks had a singular passive, which was kind of a balance patch move, it feels like, based on everything I've seen. And it does feel like adding more nuance and difference there is a good way to go.
Yeah. They got a couple other things too. Competitive refresh, UI, UX update, which I very much appreciate. I really dislike Overwatch 2's UI. Overwatch 1, and again, it's, but like, it was just clean. Like I knew exactly what to do and where to go, and I understood it, and it was fine. Then it got very like, essentially it was like, but what if this looked like a mobile game?
So I have a different take on that. And I think it's not that any of that was done intentionally. I think, and this is in part due to our foray into World of Warcraft, which began last Friday, and you'll be able to see on the Twitch channel as I level and Matt joins when he can. This in part feels like an inevitability given the age of the game. That over time, as more features get added, more things get tried, and more stuff gets like, it is difficult to keep the game interesting if you don't add more features, subsystems, other stuff. It is certainly possible to do that. Let me be very clear. It is possible to keep the game interesting without adding more frou-frous, more doodads, more accoutrement. But that's not the route they chose to go, right? They chose to add these things over time. And so the UI has sort of reflected that. And I think that's the reason that it's such a mess is because those were added sort of haphazardly and there was never a single unifying pass to slim it all back down and make it all make sense together. And I think the new UI, I agree that the new UI UX pass is going to do that in a good way because it's deliberate instead of, oh, well, we found space in the loading screen. We can add this new menu here. And that is what ends up making it feel kind of mobile.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also just I'm not saying things like Stadium are good or bad. Stadium is Overwatch is sort of like essentially kind of mobile light thing, right? Like, but like that adds a different, like that makes it a different game. Like you're making a lot of different games in it, and that's okay. But the more different games you do, the more structures you have to build and like UI you have to move people around, right?
Actually, purely, if I was thinking about this as I watched the reveal trailer, Chad, whether or not you actively play Overwatch, by show of emotes, how many of you have ever played an singular round of Stadium?
Oh, interesting.
One complete game of Stadium. Just one. Ever. Curious. Right? Because I think that it's very interesting. I think we get a lopsided view of that.
I like this. What's that? I think what Stadium?
Right. Okay.
Might have. What Stadium? Oh, Jimmy did.
Fly hyping. It's fly hyping's main game mode. Okay. So very few. Okay. Very interesting. That was one of
the Google thing?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
that's 100%. Stadia. And we'll ask you about that later, I'm sure. God, remember Stadia?
No one does. That's why it failed.
Wow. Anyway. What was I gonna say? Yeah, so like I'm glad they're gonna be cleaning that up. And you know what I liked about the spotlight was they brought on, and Blizzard used to do this a lot, or maybe I just stopped paying attention, they still do. I like it when the whole team comes on, and even though everyone's kind of cheesy and not good at doing these presentations, like they still do little skits or they still hang out and like, oh, is the UI UX designer going to talk about the UI UX? Good. Is the art director going to talk about the art? Yes. Like, you know, I like that.
I really liked they were like, all right, here's the 5 new characters that are coming out on the 10th. Here's the head of,
character design
and story, and the head of the technical team that developed all of their abilities. And here's how all of those things work together to tell this story, right? So like there's a character who's essentially like a high-powered executive, and how all of her abilities are like based on this giant extra set of arms that she's got, and how it's all glam, and how she's also like a barrier tank, and how that works, and how that fits into her lore. And like, I love that, the commitment to that Overwatch shows, right? Because it does feel like there's a reason for all of this stuff. Like all of their abilities are generally speaking well considered, right? And that they fit into the world instead of, well, what we needed was a guy who could kill a man with a knife. So we made KnifeStabber. He's coming to Overwatch next season. Like, they don't do that, right? Yeah. they do like, this is KnifeStabber. Here is his tragic backstory and how he has a sentient knife, right? Like, okay, great, awesome.
To be fair, I'd like to know more about KnifeStabber's troubled past. I would like to know more about that. Will, could you tell me? Where did his sadness and penchant for sliding metal objects into things where they shouldn't be come from?
That's a great question. Unfortunately, we don't have time for that on this spotlight. You'll have to tune in next season when KnifeStabber is fully revealed.
Well, I'll just I'll end that little section on saying that Eris is probably going to be my new main. Yeah. She looks visually insane, and I love the idea of an evil executive, which is like, I'm just going to use all the tech I have to be a nightmare.
Yeah. Like I just think like they've got a good pitch, right? And I think that this is a thing that Overwatch has been good at, and I think they've had a lot of people biased against them since the 2 move. And one of the things that I felt in this entire presentation was, we have a good pitch. We've made a good thing. We're talking about it because we're confident in it, and we want the players to be confident in it too. Oh, and by the way, we're dropping the 2. It's just Overwatch. It always has been. Here's the path forward. Let's go. Right. And that did make me feel some kind of way, like more confident in the Overwatch team specifically as a like cohesive unit, like that has their crap together.
Well, and also like it's not like they're not taking little swings here, and we're going to see how well it works out. But I did feel like a lot of the stuff just got stale. Like, here's another DPS, here's another thing. And like, everyone's like, where are the tanks? Where are the other weird stuff? Like, they're literally making Jetpack Cat. And Jetpack Cat's whole thing is like not being a big like fighter, but like they fly the entire game. It's not an ability. You just fly, and you can like tractor beam friends and foes places. Now, depending on how the foes part of that ability works, might get incredibly annoying. But
yeah,
it's
Jeff,
another
anyone?
way you can play. Yeah, like it's another way that you could engage with the game. And I think when you keep the game the same, but you let people play it in different ways, I think that is where that's where the fun comes in.
Yeah,
this is interesting. Shockwave has it. Would any of this hype have happened if the PvE was able to launch? Like if in a timeline, I want to make sure I get the question right. In the timeline where Blizzard didn't lie and they released like good quality story and PvE content, I imagine that at that point they would still drop the 2, because the 2 infinitely dates you. Like you can kind of see it. I mean, the 2 games I can think of here, like there's a reason there's no World of Warcraft 2. That admits that your hyper popular game is done, and now there has to be a new one. And then you have to prove why there has to be a new one. And in my opinion, Overwatch 2 did not prove that. They had a lot of promises, but they never kept them. So I do think in a world where all those promises were kept, they still would have done. I mean, look at the way every one of these businesses names and renames and rebrands and whatever. We're going to be talking about HBO in a little bit. That had 9 names in the last 3 years. Like, they can't get out of their own way fast enough. And if you're going to make something that's a lifestyle game that you want to be a thing that people keep playing forever, you can't tack a number onto it. And I'm sorry, I don't mean Final Fantasy 14. 14 has been 14 for like 10 years.
A decade, yeah.
Yeah. So like
and that's a different phenomena,
yeah.
Right? Yeah.
And Final Fantasies traditionally have not had the same like you could pick up any Final Fantasy and you're not like, I need to know the first 6 of them before I play 7. Like
I unironically do know people like that.
No, but like you don't need to. Like
correct,
you know what, like,
correct. Yeah.
Whereas, and I guess before Resident Evil 7, you could pick up any Resident Evil anywhere in it and still have fun, but if you wanted the plot, you would have no idea what was going on.
Yeah. I think to Bartholomew's point, I think even if they split into a PvP game and a PvE game,
yeah,
it would have been like Overwatch Defenders or like Overwatch, right, Adventures or Overwatch Campaign or something, and not call it 2.
Yeah.
Right? Because like the 2 thing is very important in like people's minds as a separation and a superseding, right? The second one is superseding the first one, right?
Right.
Yeah. Overwatch Campaign evolved. Yeah.
Like, yeah, I wonder, like, and there's something interesting there. Like, is there, maybe it's Monday morning and my coffee hasn't kicked in yet, but like, is there a game property that's done that successfully? That's taken, like, that has had a kick-ass start and then switched a genre, kept the first thing going, but then made a successful second thing, and they both just kept going? There has to be. I mean, okay, this is the wrong answer, but I'll say it anyway. It is across a long enough term. Mario and Mario Kart.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it's not that, like, Mario, the platformer, by its very nature, despite the initial points system, is a single player or co-op player game. Like you're not really competing overall, or competition is not the general vibe of it. You can compete in various ways, but Mario Kart is entirely a competition in a different genre. Like, is there another?
Both of those are still going.
They're still going. Yeah.
Chat's on like the Warcraft RTS MMO. No. They stopped making
They
Warcraft
stopped making
RTS,
World of Warcraft,
right?
Warcraft 3, right?
Something
like
where they
pivoted,
budded off a new branch and kept going with both of them in a forward direction in the future, right?
You could say Hearthstone, possibly, or the cards people are bringing up, Gwent or other sort of card games, but I don't know. Like, it's
all of Riot's games, I think, is fair, right? Like,
yeah, because and we're gonna see, right? Like X2KO versus League.
Right, and they did it with Legends of Runeterra, and now with Riftbound, right? They're crossing into the physical space even. Riftbound is... I have not gotten a chance to play it. From everything I have seen, Riftbound is a banger of a game.
Oh, it's dope.
It looks really good. I just don't have anyone to play with it.
And I believe Val and I at West got to play it last year, and it was awesome. If I had like groups of people around me that wanted to play that game all the time, I'd jump to that in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
It's just fun.
Yeah.
But anyway, and the last thing, which I actually think will actually get me back into Overwatch more than any other thing, they are updating the Switch port to the Switch 2 port.
Yay!
And if I can actually actively play this game fine on the go, I will play it more, and I will give a crap more about my standing or my skins or anything. Like, that can only, like, it's kind of the reason why I'm not like jumping back into something like Warframe. Which, by the way, they never made Warframe 2.
Yeah.
I think when the Switch, I know there's a lot of talk online in various circles I don't love going to about the I find the fact that we are getting high quality ports of 2 or 3 year old games on the Switch 2 really good for me, because I am behind. I understand that people are there want exciting and new stuff, and they've only gotten 3 or 4 Nintendo exclusives on the Switch 2. Like, it's an abysmal launch in that regard. But like, for these lifestyle games that I can have the same account, that I can play on the go, then come home and play on my PC, and the accounts are just all linked and it all kind of works, that's kind of my optimal win condition, because that's what I have time for. So I'm very excited that that's happening here too. And this has gotten not only us, but other people that I know sort of excited about Overwatch again. I'm in a bunch of Nebula discussions, and people there want to like jump back into it. Some never left, to be fair. But like, I think that it feels good. This is where I think this will be sort of my final thought on this story. It feels good for me personally to see the company that did all of the things with this game and kind of drove it into the ground, and all of the things I didn't like that got me out of it, as much as they can from a, publicity and corporate nonsense perspective, walking a lot of it back.
Yep.
And that to me says perhaps myself and literally most everyone else was onto something, and hopefully they can sort of find their way forward, because I think I care so much, because I am still weirdly emotionally involved in this world that I dropped a year and a half, 2 years ago, or whatever it was. And I want to go back there. So this is overall a very good thing, which again, Blizzard is Blizzard, and Blizzard got problems. But I think from this IP's perspective, and it will be nice to not, at least for a little bit, and hopefully this continues, not have to dunk on Overwatch for doing silly things.
Yep.
For me, for my soul.
I agree. Would you like to dunk on a different company for doing silly things?
Oh, sure. Yeah, why not?
Okay, cool. So this is like the most not understanding. Like, okay. Deep breath. So Baldur's Gate 3 is coming to HBO.
It's in I believe a paper has been signed, but like nothing is in production yet. This is so pre-production.
Right. The problem is that the amount of support for this project that Larian is doing is nebulous at best and looks like it's close to zero. Which
Larian's not touching this. You kidding me?
Sven has said that there is some amount that they might be doing something, but like
he said that Craig Mazin, who has made phenomenal television shows, and by the way, I like the Last of Us show, but also made Chernobyl and a bunch of stuff for HBO. An incredibly excellent crafter, in my opinion, of television, is the person who is trying to helm this. And Sven said that he would invite Craig to basically the offices to like chat essentially at this point. But like, and look, I don't want this. I want to make it very clear. I love Baldur's Gate 3. I think Craig Maddison is a really good purveyor and creator of television. I don't want this. I don't.
So it's not going to be exactly the story of BG3. It is a continuation of the story into the rest of the what happens after. And there are possibilities that some characters might get more satisfactory conclusions, particularly if you're a fan of giant tiefling barbarians with nebulous conclusions to their story.
Yep.
You know, this feels like missing, like, okay, The Last of Us has a concrete through line that is one singular story told from an interactive perspective with limited agency on the player's part to change the direction of that story. And that's why it works, because it's always the same story, and we're just getting a version of that story told on the big screen. Okay, cool. Yep. Or the small screen in this case. This feels like an exercise in blatantly missing the point of Baldur's Gate 3, which is everyone I know has taken a different path, a different version, has different takes on different characters because they had different interactions, because the whole point of Baldur's Gate 3 is that it is not a singular line from A to B. It's A, get sidetracked in Q through Z, come back, maybe do B, smooch characters 1 through 5, then return, do part C, and completely annihilate the final boss because you're super over leveled because you've done all the side quests, right? Like, it feels like a different buy-in from a player narrative perspective, and it feels like this is just not it, right? I don't know, because it's not like Critical Role. Right? I cannot stress this enough. It's not like Critical Role, because Critical Role has one story that is canon. It just happens that the story that they're telling in the Critical Role canon involves some dice rolling. But once it's out, it's out. That's the story, right? That's a D&D story that is specific, versus the Baldur's Gate story, which has like a canon version that no one cares about because everyone played it their own way with their own tab. And like, I just don't think it's going to work. I don't think it works.
Yeah, it's definitely not as clean of a line as, say, a Fallout that is taking a world that exists and telling a story in it. Because you're taking the characters. The idea is we follow the characters after this whole thing. That's another thing. Like, okay, look, there are so many reasons why Baldur's Gate 3 was the phenomenal game that it was. But one of the crucial pieces in this series' success is the mocap and voice actors.
Also true.
Now, my guess is they're not going to cast them, even though they probably could.
And probably should.
So we're going to be changing the like one of the reasons that got us emotionally on board. And like, the story is good. Don't get me wrong. Like, the writing is really good. And actually, I would argue that the moment to moment, like, conversational writing in Baldur's Gate 3 is far stronger than like the overarching like narrative plot. Sure. The overarching narrative plot feels like a pretty solid D&D 5e adventure.
Yeah.
Like, but like the reason why it works, is because these actors, and you know, it's funny, like, and it's funny, someone just said they could do cameos. as did the like, and they've done that, right? Like in Last of Us, Ashley Johnson plays Ellie's mother, which is very apt, right?
Yeah,
like,
good job.
But I just don't see this work. And then actually Grant just brought up exactly what I wanted to bring up. So the D&D Honor Among Thieves movie is awesome. Mm-hmm. It is an awesome movie. Mm-hmm. What I would rather see is an HBO show set in Faerun, Forgotten Realms, and just have it be that vibe with new characters. The thing about D&D is there's an infinite number of structurable character. I mean, about any story, but like this is like truly like on rails on what these characters are like and what they can do. And I think there's a larger, like, again, does it have the IP cachet that this does? No, not at all. Did Craig Maddison play 1,000 hours of any other game that he wants to make in a TV show? I don't think so. Like, he's also a fan of this game. Like, he loves this game. That's great. That's good. It's weird. I'm in an odd spot where I believe in the people making the product, but I don't want the product. Does that make sense? Like, I could think of a million reasons why, like, for if this was in someone else's hands doing it or whatever, I would be like mad about it. This is, I just like, no, thank you.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
No, thank you.
I'm confused and like also a little worried, but you know, we're going to let them cook.
Yeah. And like, for instance, this does feel, and I know we have another movie story later too, but this does feel a little bit like the Alex Garland. Oh no, actually this is different. So I want to bring this up. So Alex Garland is doing the Elden Ring movie, from what I understand. Director of Ex Machina and Annihilation. It is also a A24 movie in partnership with Bandai Namco. So like, there's every word there is like, okay, I'm in. And like, I'm actually kind of excited to see what that is. But I also wonder, like, because that too is a giant world sandbox playground with lore and things that happen, but you kind of exist either after the fact or very much you're tarnished as like sort of around it. Whereas your Tav in Baldur's Gate 3 is the active protagonist pushing the story forward, and every character you run into is affected by you and your choices. So maybe that's the difference, right? Like I've already had a very personal experience with one, and just I've enjoyed spending time in the world of the other. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Also, just make a Dragonlance show, you cowards.
They did. It's called House of the Dragon, and it's not as good.
Huh? We're talking about very different Dragonlance. It's not even.
There's dragons, there's lances. It's fine.
It's not the same. It's not the same at all. One
Totally
of them has
same.
one of
Totally
them has
same.
like
Canonical.
the weirdest set of twins ever.
Dragonlance show would be good.
Yeah, it would. All right. Before we get on to our next show, it is now the time where we give you fake ads for things you can't buy, while Twitch Check gets real ads for things they probably won't buy. So we're going to run our ads now so we don't get interrupted in the middle of our next story. So, chat, if you're seeing ads, we'll be back in 3 minutes. You're not going to miss anything except us doing a funny improv game. And if you aren't seeing ads, please enjoy our funny improv game.
Who wants to start?
Me.
Okay. Oh, was that not it?
Hi there. Will from Extra Credits here to sell you on my continued course on saying less. That's right, say fewer things. Leave more country undiscovered. Is there weird lingering plot threads left at the end of Baldur's Gate 3? Cool. Good. Don't do anything with them. Let people imagine. Let the story rest. Sometimes there can just be a ... Or sometimes there could just be a, and there they lived happily till the end of their days. There does not need to be a hard and fast conclusion or like tack on to like every story.
You know, it's a really great point. And I think that's why I want to talk about this show that I do really want to sell you. Because I know that the narrative through line behind it is everyone is so passionate about it that I think, I don't know, you'll be the judge. Hey everyone, Matt from Matt's Wills, Extra Credits, Matt Wills, Matt from Extra Credits here.
Yep.
Wanting to tell you about the newest exciting movie from Sony Interactive Pictures. That's right, they've brought you Uncharted. They've brought you probably another movie that Sony had something to do with. Until Dawn maybe, but now they are bringing in the big guns to make the most emotionally resonant story possible with an IP that we know you care deeply about. We are going to be making the Astrobot film. That is right, every piece of Sony IP rolled into one narrative big slurry that you get to drink up and hear about the tragic backstory that they have. Oh, also it's gonna be David Benioff and DB Wise running it.
I literally can't tell if he's talking about a real thing or if he just made this up. That's the point where we are. Also...
The grass, this is exactly what I wanted. Matt, now I want this. And then right at the end when I said who would be running it, and now I don't. Oh, boy.
Hold on.
Will, we do need to make a tragic backstory for KnifeStabber.
We probably do.
Point.
I'm also looking at a specific thing.
No, actually, an Astrobot show would be great, just not what I've described.
Okay. Chat. Commander is safe. The world is not going to burn down. Amazing.
All right.
The BNR just came out, and I just wanted to check. Sorry. To save you a click, Biorhythm is unbanned, and Lutri the Spell Chaser is unbanned, but you can't use it as a companion. And they've given reasons why other things are remaining banned, and why they didn't ban specific things. So that's good.
Did they ban KnifeStabber?
Yes, absolutely. 100%. Farewell to game.
How will that affect my premium foil version of KnifeStabber, stabber with knives?
The great question.
On the market.
KnifeStabber is just timeless, eternal, valuable beyond measure. The real KnifeStabber was in our hearts and probably also our spleens all along.
The flavor text would be, "What do you have? A knife? No!" That would be what would be at the bottom of KnifeStabber's card.
Yeah. Yes, chat. Farewell is also now a game changer, but that's not really a change. So good. Excellent. Wonderful. I still think they should ban, you know what? I'm not going to tell you because we had that discussion in the Discord and we're not going to get sidetracked here.
Get regular tracked.
Yeah, we're going to get regular tracked. On to this morning's announcement.
Where's KnifeStabber when you need him?
All right. So let's do some backstory real quick. So a bit ago, Discord tried this thing where they did age verification in the UK because UK said you got to do this because to protect the kids, except it was never about protecting the kids because it's never actually about protecting the kids. So we're all on the same page. Okay, cool. And it didn't go so well because a contractor that Discord worked with to resolve cases where their automated system could not verify your age got hacked and leaked 70,000 people's government IDs along with several terabytes of data about the biometrics gathered from this onto the internet after Discord was like, hey, we're totally not storing that data. It's all getting deleted as soon as, oh, whoops, it is not getting deleted. So now they want to roll that exact same system to the best of my ability to discern in the time I had this morning. They want to roll the UK system exactly out to the rest of the world.
That'll go well.
It goes super well.
Discord has become sort of one of the prime centers of sociability for people in this hobby and or
yes,
I'll just leave it at that. But also like people just on the internet.
Yes.
And to see it do what it did in the EU and then be like, this is great, let's go, let's do it everywhere, is a real bad move.
Yes.
There's no adjustment like at all.
Correct. And the way that it'll work is you will be locked out of all adult.
Oh, UK, not the EU. Sorry.
All of the adult sections, like you won't be able to use chats that are marked not safe for work. Importantly, by the way, not safe for work does not necessarily just mean like adult content like sex or gore. It also means some other stuff because of some other changes that Discord has rolled out over the years. Politics channels are, under Discord's terms of service, supposed to be 18 plus or marked as adults only in many cases, because Discord has a very extensive list of stuff that needs to be marked as adult only under their terms of service. So our politics channel is marked as adults only, even though it's just a discussion channel, right? So that is another like weird wrinkle in this that people might not be expecting.
Also, the wording of this, February 9th, 2026, San Francisco. The first sentence out of this, and we'll have the link to their press release. But I just want to read this because when I read it, it gave me a big like, huh? Discord is announcing enhanced teen safety features rolling out globally that reinforce its long-standing commitment to creating a safer and more inclusive experience for users over the age of 13. Okay. So they're trying to like, what was their tier system before from an age perspective, or did they just have none?
It's the same system that currently exists. Either you're between 13 and 17 or you're 18 or over, except now they're forcing you to verify that you're 18 or older. The system already exists. You can already mark things as adults only.
Right.
Like, you can already do that. Like, there's no change on the functionality end from, like, individual servers. It's just forcing you as a user to be in one category or the other.
Yeah. So, hold on. Let me double check that. I'm just making sure that my thing isn't coming to the right spot. Where in the actual press release, I'm trying to find it, is there sort of, like, age verification process system?
It's the privacy forward age assurance thing.
Yep.
So, they've got the system that they've used, and this is the same system that they use in the UK, is that they're going to have you do an on-device. They're claiming it's fully on-device video selfie age verification thing, which has been defeated by a Death Stranding ad before, so who knows if that'll still work or if they'll fix that or what the plan with that is. If that doesn't work, they will move on to having people submit government documents through the app to someone who will review them, and then they swear, pinky promise, delete them. But we're trusting a lot here, especially when they've already goofed with at least one vendor once.
Yeah.
Right? That we know of, right? So I just want to be very clear because this comes up, right? I want to be very scrupulously accurate in the way that we slam Discord for this mess up, because I want us to be as accurate as possible with what all of the problems with this are, because this is probably the biggest test case. They've sort of done this with Blue Sky. They've kind of done this with Twitter, but this is the first global rollout of this that I can think of. So when we criticize this, I want us to be as accurate as possible and not hyperbolic, because I feel like we have a chance to get them to not do this, maybe?
Here's something also that brought up that I'm very curious about. Ian brought up a very good point. If users are underage by default, will they be restricting ads by default?
That's a great question. I don't know.
My guess is no.
Yeah. Yes, that's correct. The face recording, they say, is all on the device, and option 2. Now, there is also, I'm reading directly from their press release, okay? Additionally, Discord will implement its age inference model, a new system that runs in the background to help determine whether an account belongs to an adult without always requiring users to verify their age. That is another thing that some groups are picking up on. It isn't my gold standard for age verification is the Newgrounds method, which is, have you ever bought anything from us with a credit card? If so, we can assume that you have access to a credit card and are therefore 18. Is your account old enough that it would be unfeasible for you to have made it at an age that does not mean that you are now 18? Great, you're 18.
And
right?
are there ways to get past that? Sure. But you still need, like, an adult with a credit card you would have to get it from them with permission or not permission.
Correct.
And either way, that does put the onus of blame on whatever is going on that group, not the company.
Correct. So, and I'm actually more okay with that one because I think that that's like the idea of inferring from available data that you've already given Discord that you're 18 is a pretty broad idea, right? If you've, for instance, let's say some people were mentioning Steam accounts. You can link your Steam account and your Discord account. Your Steam account may have your Steam badge public. If you have and I'm only suggesting this is public, okay? All of this data could be available publicly, and if you've made it public, then if your Steam account, which is linked to your Discord account, has the 18-year service badge, which is possible, they could easily infer that you are at least 18 years of age using publicly available data and nothing else. Okay, I'm all right with that. That makes sense. That's publicly available data that you have granted them access to by linking those two accounts. Okay. I'm personally okay with that, right? I'm far more okay with that than sending my government idea to some weird third-party group that's probably gonna leak it, right?
I just don't get, like, okay. What is the overall business draw here?
That's a great question, Matt.
My guess is safety is important to them just as much as your call is very important to us. Please stay on the line. Like, I don't think that any individual at Discord wants people to be hurt on the internet. I also don't think that as a company they truly give a crap about the safety of their users. If they could put all their users, and this is almost any company, if they could put their users in mortal danger and still make a ton of money, they'd do it. Like, that's neither here nor there, nor am I even like that's not what a company's job is. Not to be empathetic. It's just not. We could want to deal with companies that are full of empathetic people, but at the institution of a company, that's not what it's there for. It's there to make profit. So what is the profitability thing that Discord is trying to do here? They never went public, right?
They are trying to go public.
So they are trying to comply and make one universal thing work across all, essentially, markets that will satisfy government regulations to make their product ubiquitous and still be able to be essentially be popular enough to eventually start selling shares. To me, and again, I don't know Discord's monetary thing. Maybe they're totally underwater and they wouldn't survive another year if they don't try to go public. I have no idea, right? To me, this screams, we need to get all of our ducks in a row, even if those ducks don't know how to swim, because we're going to try to go public and make sure that we have a viable product that people will want to buy in for. And then maybe on the best case scenario of that, they'll make enough money to be able to fix the problems, or worst case scenario, certain people just want to make a bunch of money before this thing dies anyway.
Yes.
Braston. The ducks are actually bricks. Yeah, I don't know.
So there's sort of three parts to this, right? One of it is the why, one of it is the how. We've kind of discussed both of those. And the other one is the now what. And I think, okay, here's the problem. And this is a much more deeply embedded problem than it was with Twitter, but it's exactly the same kind of problem that we have with Twitter, which is everyone is immediately like, okay, we want to bail ship, but how and to where? Lots of people are saying Matrix. Matrix is a free open source software alternative that is much like Discord. Some people are saying TeamSpeak. Some people are saying Vent. There was at one point a competitor named Golden. It was great, and then Roblox bought it and demanded that you have a Roblox account to use it, thus absolutely murdering it dead on the spot, which was terrible. Or Skype, or like there's a whole bunch of Vent is in Ventrilo.
There's a name I haven't heard in a long time.
Yeah, correct. The I'm not opposed to like the search, right? Like the search is a good idea. I need people to keep in mind that it needs to be at least as convenient and at least as featureful as Discord. And then people kind of do like one of Discord's primary quality, its primary feature is its ubiquity.
Yeah.
That is its primary feature, right? It is not particularly good in a large number of ways. In fact, the desktop client is just a fancy Chromium browser, right? But what it is ubiquitous, right? So
I wonder if there's a way, and like, you know, obviously Nitro subscribers, but like everyone who hosts a server, like basically essentially messaging customer support and being like, yo, like you do these changes and we can't have our server here anymore.
Right.
Like, I mean, we kind of saw this, and it's a completely different vehicle. This is not the same. It's not a social app, but with Adobe Animate. Did I talk about this last week?
No, but it essentially happened right after the show last week.
Okay, so sorry, I'm going to tangent for a second because this was something that deeply affects our studio. So Adobe decided last Monday, I believe, or maybe it was a little bit beforehand, to deprecate Adobe Animate, which is what we use to make our animated shows. There's a bunch of animation software. I won't get into the nitty-gritty as to why we still use Animate, but the TLDR of that is it does exactly the right amount of certain things and not the amount of other things to do the exact thing that we do really well and efficiently, even though it is a platform that has not been updated in like 4 years and constantly crashes. Like, it is still the best. It is the best thing. The artists and I have looked into various other versions, such as Toon Boom and even Blender, and they don't all do what we need them to do and Animate did. And Adobe basically put out a cryptic message saying, we're deprecating this. It's going away March 1st. Unless you're in executive package or something else, and then it's going to be another year maybe, but we're not sure. Ha ha ha, whatever. And it was a complete and utter cluster of actual non-information about when this program and I'm talking like Animation House. I'm talking like bigger, like I think Lower Decks uses Animate. Like there's groups that use this and have used this pipeline for years. Not to mention, if they deprecate this, we were running into the problem of we have 14, 15, 16 years of FLA files of our vector art that all of a sudden we might not be able to open. So we went into crisis mode and we did a bunch of stuff, and I messaged Adobe and as many people did. And then I kid you not, Red, who's in the chat right now, who's our post soup, essentially was like, we had a meeting in 15 minutes about discussing two things. One, how to figure out the best way to take 15 years of content and figure out a new backup strategy. And two, what the best process was for organizing the animators and figuring out what we wanted to do next and try to maneuver things around, find prices, etc. And I got an email from Adobe. And Adobe was like, "We're so sorry. We've heard you. We're not going to deprecate it. We're just putting it in service mode or something. So there's not going to be updates." I'm like, "Oh, so like the last 4 years, cool." But now it's not going away because there was a large uproar. I told this to Nick DeWitt, artist of the channels, and he goes, he's like, "Yeah, wow, wonder why." And he sent me a picture of their stock price. And it had tanked in the 72 hours after they had announced it. And they were moving it away specifically to use the resources on more AI shit. And look, this does not mean that I'll wrap up the story and I will tie this back to Discord. This does not mean that like, oh yay, we're safe and now we don't have to. No, we're still having meetings. I'm going to be working this week on figuring out like a longer form plan on like what to do when this happens, because at the end of the day, none of these companies are our friends. They are not here for us, and you need to try to figure out the best way around it. But my point is, the right number of wallet and social pressure can do something. So if we can, if people as a whole can figure out what Discord's end game is, I personally think, and I could be wrong, I'd love other people's opinions, it is to go public and to make more money. If you start taking away paths to do that via your Nitro subscription, via whatever, and making sure that they know it's like why that's happening, that might be the only recourse that we all have. So like, Will, you and I could talk about this after the show too, but like, I know we host a Discord server. You can join the Twitch, you can become a member on YouTube, or you can subscribe to our Patreon to get Discord access. It's a really fun place. I love chatting with people over there. But we can message our customer service folks and be like, hey, if you do this, we can't stick around. So do you like our money? Again, and it's not like we're paying an exorbitant amount, but if everyone who did that does this.
And the other one that I've seen a lot of people suggest is if you are upset about this and you're a Nitro sub, cancel your Nitro sub.
Yeah.
Right? Like that is a immediate, like, and do it today, right? Don't delay. The announcement was today. If you want to make a very real statement that Discord can see immediately, cancel your Nitro sub today so that it does the vertical line thing, right? Because if there is enough of a vertical line like, oh God, no, that will get attention in the right places in the C-suite for them to be like, oh, hey, why did we lose like some double-digit percentage of paying subscribers in one day? Oh, it's because we made this announcement. Maybe we shouldn't make that announcement. Can we unmake that announcement, right?
I've just canceled my Nitro.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I'm gonna do mine after the show because I've already got too many windows open, right?
Yeah. The end. And listen, hey, maybe we'll make this little bit into a short. You too can cancel your Nitro if you don't like this. It's real easy. I just did it while we were talking about canceling our Nitro. I will also email a customer service group and tell them why I did it.
Yeah. Right? Yeah. So yeah, that's where Discord's at. They want to just to recap, because I saw some people coming in the middle. Discord wants to globally verify everyone's age using either facial biometrics or your government ID, and they have a terrible history of data privacy with both of those things. And they want to do it in preemptive. They're like sort of preemptively conforming with whatever laws may exist in the future without like a strong legal reason for them to do it in the present. And no one likes that. And we really don't want them to. So maybe don't.
Rhythmer, it did not have an exit survey. I'm wondering if I'm going to get an email. If not, I'm going to find the email. Maybe we'll put the email in the show notes of like where the customer service group there is.
Yeah. Cool. Cool. And above all, if you don't like it, cancel your Nitro. That's the first thing. And yeah. Cool. Shall we move on to other more interesting, terrible things that the companies have done?
Oh God.
Yeah. All right. Okay. So this picture shouldn't exist. This picture is an abomination. This picture is everything that is wrong with so many things. So this, you might think, oh, that's a terribly done low-resolution picture of Expedition 33. No. It's so much worse than that. This is a picture from Roblox.
Yeah, what, you don't recognize the WAD's control scheme?
Yeah. This is Roblox. Because Roblox is rolling out a new generative AI tool, and one of their tech demos for the generative AI tool was that it just made Mael from Expedition 33, which raises so many questions. Just so many questions on what they're doing. But like, bro, you could have not published this. You could have not published this at like any point. You could have decided not to publish this. Like, so there's two problems.
You could have even gotten this result and been like, could you make it look less like Expedition 33? Just another prompt. Like,
right? Like,
insane.
And I cannot stress this enough. I need to stress this. Right? They published this. This isn't something that someone found. This is they
were proud of this.
They were proud of this on their social media.
Unreal. Like,
This has the big like do you remember the bit on socials where like there were bots that were scraping every piece of art that someone asked to be on a t-shirt and then putting it on a t-shirt? Do you remember this era, Matt?
No.
Okay, so there's a while where there's a big problem with a bunch of artists where if you asked, hey, I love that, could it be on a t-shirt? A bot would come by and scrape your art and put it on like a terrible low quality t-shirt thing and then never give money to the original artist, right? They would just steal the art and put it on a t-shirt. So someone came up with the beautiful idea of using it of doing that on pictures of Mickey Mouse.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, great. Awesome. Because, you know, Disney famously loves when people make money off of copyrighted Disney imagery without
a $1 billion deal to Sora.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So one of them was a picture of Mickey Mouse that said, this is not parody. We are committing copyright infringement on the copyright of the Walt Disney Company, and we will pay all legal fees and agree that this should go to trial, not arbitration, like on an image, and then got a whole bunch of people to share it with, hey, could this please get on a t-shirt? So that a bunch of t-shirt companies made t-shirts with that image on it. It was beautiful.
So good.
Right? It was beautiful. We didn't even have to do all that. Just everyone's seen this. Everyone's seen this. Like
I would be shocked if, is this still up? Like, can you still see this now?
Yeah, it is still up. It is a Roblox post on X from February 4th. And to the best of my knowledge,
women in glowing cave.
Yeah,
that's what they prompted it. And then give me a sword. She has a sword now. She's holding it very realistically. And then the prompt is make the sword on fire.
Mm-hmm. And there are, of course, a bunch of other things that definitely look like WoW, that definitely look like a bunch of other things. Like, it's not
a dragon attacks.
Yeah. Like, also, it's bad. Like, it's not even merely that it's copyright infringement. It's that it's bad and copyright infringement.
Also, this is so insane. It's the same problem with all of this shit. It says the last prompt it shows was a dragon attacks and a big dragon lands, and then the woman with the flaming sword, who's totally not from Expedition 33 in that world, runs at the dragon, like holding the sword out like this, and then it cuts away to be like, what about a penguin on a glacier? And it's like, yeah, because you don't have any gameplay.
Yeah, right.
Oh,
yeah.
embarrassing.
So just further reminders, don't give Roblox money. Like, there were already like a whole bunch of reasons to not give Roblox money, but definitely don't give Roblox money. Just like, don't do it. Just don't. Okay, cool. All right, let's talk about a different story. Because I don't want to talk about this no more. Matt.
Yeah, that's me.
You want to talk about Horizon Zero Dawn's Nightreign? It's legally not Nightreign, but it's definitely
legally not Nightreign. But I love this image that I made. May I say?
Right. So
they're best friends now. They're roommates.
Yeah.
Will.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. 100%. So it's a 3-player tactical co-op action game for challenging and replayable hunts. And there's a roguelite perk system.
Okay. I want to back up a bit. We just came from some very negative stories, and I don't want that to bleed into this. Yeah. Horizon as an IP makes phenomenal games and have had a really rough go.
They had such a rough go. It's true.
Now, was it the smartest to release both of their games at the same time as an open world Zelda game? Probably not.
Yeah.
But these are beloved games and worlds, and they've had a really hard time sort of not breaking containment, but like staying, like, we all know these games, but for whatever reason, they get steamrolled by everything else. Look, Horizon Hunters Gathering is an art style that is fine. I like Horizon's art style better. I thought it like made it more unique. I watched this entire thing. I watched the entire release thing about this. I really like Elden Ring Nightreign. Nightreign has proven to me that you can take an IP that I love and turn it into something I love even more. Like, so I won't write off that this is going to be bad. Or I won't like just say this instantly. What I will say though, and I don't think I've found this anywhere, and if someone can get me this information, I would appreciate it. I don't know what the monetization model is for this game. Nightreign, I bought for $40, and I will buy the $15 DLC until I die. I like that model for this kind of game. It makes me want to keep playing it and engaging with it and talking about it and dragging my friends back into getting bodied by the Dredgelord over and over again. Finally beat it with Jay and Jess, by the way. So I've rolled credits on that part of the DLC. But if this is that, if this is a lower priced game that you can just keep playing, then I'm all for this. I would love to try this out. If this is another model, you're going to have to really, really, really convince me that this is the best direction to go. The direct or whatever that they talk about this game starts with their CEO being like, "Hey, everyone, we just want to say this up front. We love making single player games. We love it. It's our favorite thing. We love it so much. It's the best. We love it. We love it." But hold on.
But what? But hold on.
I don't think he's lying.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a trick. But you know what your audience is going to say about this. So you need to make sure that this game is pristine.
Yeah.
Like, and maybe it is. Like the closed beta is the end of February.
Yeah. I'm interested. I'm genuinely interested in this. I like Horizon. I like this model. I did not vibe as hard as Matt did with Nightreign, but I like the idea of having like more fun things to play. Because again, I think one of the best characters in Horizon is the world. The world is weird. The world is really weird and really interesting and has a lot of consequences of being like this weird post-apocalyptic robot dinosaur thing, right? Yeah. All for that, 100%. So if this gives me an opportunity to do that in a fun way with some friends, cool, I'm in.
I liked, where was this? Hold on. If I find it. Someone had the best goddamn line, and I have to find it. I'm so sorry. Oh, this Larky. This releasing the same day as Duskbloods would be so funny.
Yeah. No, because the Horizon cannot release on a day when they don't get stepped on.
The pact is fulfilled. I want to be very clear. I would love it if this game was a success. I really, really would. And nothing about it has turned me off on it on principle.
Yeah.
It's just, if anything, it's actually kind of a compliment to Nightreign. Yep. Like, imitation is the greatest form of flattery, and so neat. Like, cool. We'll see, right? I just thought this was a very, very, very funny story.
Yeah, I agree.
And this image was too good to not put up.
It was very good. Okay.
Oh, we got a heavy breathing one. Oh, I know.
Well, we're into for another slog. This is a very good, like, light one, but man, like, chat, the news this week has not been ideal for me maintaining my demeanor.
Will, before you show the picture, should we, when the picture comes up, try to imitate the thing as the thing would imitate the thing it's trying to imitate? Do you get what I'm saying?
I smell toast, but sure.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
What up, fam? Welcome back to the show. Wow, Will, it's great to be here with you talking about games while we also consume calories.
That is correct, fellow co-host Matt. We are here as podcasters on your favorite Sony PlayStation network. By the way, I am playing the part of Kratos.
Ha ha ha. You sound just like him. No,
That's
really,
correct.
though. What's going on?
Can't keep it up. It's so bad.
Ha ha ha. No, really, though. That's great. Hey, now a word from our sponsor, HelloFresh. Look, I can't
even,
Walt,
man.
No, Walt, this is not, it's moving too quick. This is not enjoyable.
No, okay. So yeah. All right. So here's the problem is that Sony has gotten a new, now they might not do anything with it.
They might not do anything with
They
it.
might not do anything. There's a patent only. Okay.
They just bought the gun.
Yeah, right. They're not doing, they haven't, they own the gun, but they haven't, they probably don't own ammo. We don't know.
We don't know.
They might.
We don't know.
We don't know. They have patented the ability to use AI to bring characters from their IPs to life for the purpose of hosting podcasts.
So they want... And I really liked this graphic, too.
It's very good. I do like this a lot.
Oh, because it's just like Kratos. This is some real... and here's Wonderwall. Like, energy. It's just...
I like,
oh, my gosh.
Boy, how do I mute this microphone?
Yeah.
Like, and the truly terrible part is, do you know what the most insulting part of this is? You could have just given Chris Judge money and a microphone. Just for less money than it took for you to file the patent, you could have given Chris Judge money and a microphone and said, hey, would you do a podcast as Kratos? And Chris Judge, who is an S-tier human being, would have said yes.
Get Chris Judge and Ashley Birch to come on as Kratos and Aloy.
Yes!
And just have them shoot the shit. Have them do this show.
Yes!
Have them do a weekly talk show about gaming and tech news, and then you just print all the money.
Right. Yeah.
I also want 10% of that. Will, you get 10% of that.
Yeah, right. Okay, cool, great. Oh, just off the top, yeah. But yeah, so we'll keep an eye out for this. Just remember that if Sony starts announcing podcasts in this format, this is probably what's up. Keep an eye out. Gross.
Have you listened to an AI podcast before, Will?
No, because I love myself.
It's like if a demon was reading its resume aloud. Like it's
unfortunately sounds kind of metal, but go on.
No, it's not not in the good way. No, because a demon's resume would be like 10,000 pages long, and like it would be done in triplicate and have every large 19-point Scrabble word. It would be bad and not fun.
Yeah. Yep. 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 Okay. All right, deep breath. Let's talk Ashes real quick. This is more of an update from last week.
Sure.
But the brief recap is as follows. Ashes of Creation is dead.
Yeah.
There was a C-suite disagreement between a previously unknown board of investors and the lead developer / president of the company over some kind of ethical creative differences, and as a result of people leaving, the company's been dissolved. This is where it gets worse, and you might be like, but how did it not get worse? It turns out that there are like over 100 employees for this developer in California. And they violated the WARN Act, which is like hella not good, by the way. This is like more than 100 lawyers are like making calls to do this for a cut because they violated the WARN Act because no one got 60 days notice. No one is getting their final paycheck.
Nope.
It looks like this went from bad to this went from bad and a little shady to absolutely disastrous, and there will be no money for people to take because it's gonna be bad. The WARN Act is an act that requires companies to issue notice in advance of a layoff and to behave in a certain fashion with regard to employees who are laid off. And it appears that none of that happened for any of the employees who were let go. And it all appears that this was hella illegal, is my brief, unlawyerly take away on this. Is everything I've heard from every employee who's spoken out is that this is hella illegal, and there will probably be court filings in the next couple weeks on this. So keep a weather eye out for that if you're there. And of course, we are always hopeful that the developers who are displaced by this absolute travesty find jobs in the industry soon, because as we discussed last week, the industry is suffering an incredible, unsustainable amount of brain drain, and this is just contributing to that. It's real bad.
Yep.
So, I'm taking so many deep breaths because I'm trying to actually talk about these and not just have the rest of the show be me sitting back in my chair screaming endlessly.
So in the pre-show, we were talking about some secret layer releases for Magic: The Gathering. It's where the magic gathers, everyone. And they just dropped some, I believe, 15 minutes ago.
So, yes, 45 minutes ago. It drops at noon Eastern on Mondays. Secret layers are cards that you can only order directly from Wizards as part of a limited run. They're called drops. These cards are sometimes mechanically unique. More often, they are new art reprints of existing cards, like this one shown here, which is, in fact, the object of today's story because it's the object of this week's controversy. Normally, there is a fixed price. Normally, it is $30 for a non-foil drop and $40 to get 4 Pringles in an envelope that should be Magic cards, but are actually Pringles.
Wait, you can eat them?
No, you can't eat them. They're cardboard.
Oh, yeah.
The joke
Zoe
is that,
says challenge accepted.
Right, okay. The joke is that the foils that Wizards has been putting out recently have been curling pretty badly. And so it is intriguing to me, as always, that they charge more for foils that often curl. It's not great. So,
do they replace them?
No. I literally have a stack of foils from a recent set that is just curved. The whole stack is curved. They all curve together, by the way. Anyway, not the point. they've decided on a new. They tried a new thing where there were some available at. There were versions of this Chaos Vault available at $10, $20, $30, and $40. And when one group sold out, you could still buy the more expensive ones. But nothing.
Oh, wait, they sold out?
Well, so if the $10 bracket sold out, you could still buy it at $20.
Okay, whoa. See, so I was going to come at this and be like, oh, what an interesting sort of like model, because we were talking about the Curse of Strahd ones just dropped, and while I will not be paying $30 for 4 cards, I might have paid 10. And I was curious, like, what the difference would be, like how many more people wouldn't bounce off if they made them even remotely affordable or whatever, right? I thought it was just different sites pulling from the same inventory pool. But so that you're telling me that across the 4 brackets, they basically split their inventory into 4 sections, and then the second that the $10 section was gone, they had to go to the $20 section?
Correct, for the same product.
Like, don't get me wrong. I like the idea of doing a marketing stunt where there's 4 prices, but there's one pool of inventory, and you can choose what price you would like to pay for that thing. But to lock 75%, 50%, 25% between different costs is batshit.
That's correct. And that's the problem, right? Is that it's already been not great. There is exactly one singular secret lair that I am interested in for the rest of the year. And it's because I've already seen the product and I know what it is and I want it very badly. And that's the Dan secret lair that's coming out hopefully next month, but we'll see. But they're not getting anything else out of me otherwise. And if this keeps up, I probably will pass on the Dan secret lair that I've been excited for a year.
Yeah.
The Wizards keeps doing this thing where they sort of play around in the secret lair playground. The system is not good as it stands, and then adding this additional thing is just frustrating and insulting to people who have day jobs. For instance, one of the reasons that I can't get secret lairs is that the drops begin in the middle of this show every week. I've done it. I've managed to get.
I've been here.
I've been able to get in a couple of times and get things that I wanted, but this is artificial scarcity because they refuse to print to order, right? Or print on demand, I guess. They will only print specific size to do artificial scarcity, and now they're doing this price bracket thing, and it just sucks. It was originally there was a pitch that it was going to be different, that it was going to be high quality, collector's items and that are reprints of existing things and only different arts. And that's cool. And then we started getting mechanically different ones. And then we started getting additional, weird time limited ones. And now we've got this, and just stop. Let us pay you reasonable prices or Magic cards to play Magic with.
And also, Mookanet says this. So anyway, Magic is hell. Play something else, please, God. It's funny because, I think the reason why Magic is something that is so difficult to drop when they do things like this is the longevity of the game and how truly special the core mechanics and how Magic the Gathering is played, how truly special that is. Yeah. No other game, I think, has knocked me out and pulled me back in as much as Magic. And it's not just because, and I think I can actually confidently say it's not for the reason I'm about to say, due to them releasing the Curse of Strahd secret layers today and me not buying them. It's because there are various ways that you can get pulled back into something. But the thing you're getting pulled back into, the packaging may have changed, but you're reminded as to why, it was special and you enjoyed it in the first place. Like, I know, and listen, for a collectible card game, there are many different win conditions for people doing it, right? There could be the collector aspect, there could be the reseller aspect, there could be the tournament aspect, there could be casual aspect. Me, I like going to conventions, buying a pre-built commander deck, and playing with my friends when I get to see them twice, 3 times a year in a physical space. That's like my buy-in for Magic. And I think the game is really lovely because despite throughout its 20 plus, 30 plus year,
97.
35?
No,
Yeah.
earlier, 94?
The game has been the same. Like, there's additional keywords and structures and things like that, but like, it's still something you can always come back to. And I think that's the reason why I will not engage with the parts of this hobby that I find predatory and stupid, but I will also have a hard time abandoning it, like, outright. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, this stinks. Wizards knows they've screwed up, by the way. They have heard the message loud and clear that they have screwed up here. Lots of people have expressed extensive displeasure over this. They are very aware that they have screwed up and will not be doing this again.
Yeah.
But that just means that they'll try some other new thing and don't. Just don't.
And Muka, literally same. I'm just sort of going back to sort of your response to my response. I think I agree with that. For me personally, Will, I know you have a bigger buy-in than I do in this case, but I think that's why I engage with it literally on that level.
Yeah. Right. Yep. 100%.
And listen,
sitting here shuffling a pauper deck, like,
would my lizard brain love nothing more than to show up at PAX East with a bunch of Strahd cards and a vampire deck? Absolutely. Will I be paying fucking $30 for that privilege? Absolutely not. Like, anyway.
Yeah. To counteract this, by the way, I will say that the while Wizard sucks, the Magic community is awesome. Over the past week, they've raised, as part of a fundraiser, they raised $600,000 through a social media push for Trans Lifeline. So there's our good news. Wizards, not the greatest. The Magic community, pretty dope. And I like that. Okay. We got 2 good stories to end on. Number 1. Iron Lung. Matt, are you familiar with this story at all?
Yeah. I've not seen the film yet, although I think we're going to be doing it on the podcast, so I think I'm going to be seeing it this week.
Okay. So, Iron Lung is a movie made by Markiplier, and it released in a limited theater run recently. And it made like $21.5 million on a $3 million budget, which is pretty great. He wrote, directed, self-financed, distributed, and starred in Iron Lung. It's a live-action adaptation of a 2022 independent horror game, which I've seen some people play. It's dark and very horrific, and it's an indie horror game it's going to be.
This is a really great moment for independent filmmakers, specifically those coming from the YouTube trade. Again, as part of the Nebula Group, they're doing all sorts of stuff over there, and to have something like this see this level of success is only a great boon and bolster for every other kind of creator wanting to do this.
Yes.
It is obviously not easy, and you need to do many, many, many things right, as Markiplier seems to have done. But I love this story. I don't even care if I like the movie. Like, if that's kind of where I'm at. I have no idea if I will or not. But the fact that it did this, the fact that it can actually turn a profit like this is absolutely huge. And if you were to ask me, I don't know, 5 years ago, if there would be a box office battle between Markiplier and Melania Trump, I don't know if I would have seen that coming.
Would you have bet that Markiplier came out on top in that head-to-head?
I mean, yes, I would
Yes,
have.
I think most people would.
But it's just a weird time to be alive. Movies are in a weird place. I urge you, actually, if you want more movie stuff, and we won't go into it here, please listen to the latest episode of the only podcast about movies, which I believe launched yesterday morning. We talk. It's me, Shahir, and Izzy from Be Kind Rewind talking about the Oscar Best Picture nominated film, The Secret Agent, which is excellent. But we do get into a long discussion about media literacy, and there an article specifically that came out saying that film students are, quote, having a hard time sitting through movies these days. Like the attention span is dropping. I have thoughts on this. I often wonder if it's old men yelling at people to get off their lawn in certain ways, but it's a very interesting discussion about how not only media literacy is changing, but where our players are coming from and how they are engaging with stories in mediums that we love. And that's specifically for films over there, but we talk about that kind of stuff with games and all sorts of stuff here. So if you want that, it's the only podcast about movies. That episode should be out now. It's also ad-free on Nebula. So, yeah.
Okay. And then one last good, interesting story. This is the development team that made Clair Obscur Expedition 33. They are seen here receiving the award of Knight under the French Order of Arts and Letters. The entire crew got recognized by the French government for their significant contribution to the country's art and culture. Okay. So, like, on one hand, good. Great. They deserve all their flowers. They made a banger. Awesome.
Yeah.
More importantly than that, more of that, please. Like,
sure.
more recognition, more big fancy honors, more, hey, this is a real art form that does real things to promote culture and beauty in the world, right? Like, I'm happy for the Expedition 33 crew. I would like this to be the first of more recognition in, like, high society culture, like getting knighted for that kind of thing. I think it's really good. Yeah, recognition that games matter. Yeah. Time for some other countries' indie developers to get state awards. Yes. Yeah. Yes. It feels like legitimacy of video games as art, and I think that that's big, like a big thing. And I'm really happy for them. Like I said, all the flowers there. I'm so much more excited that this sets a precedent and that hopefully other people will do this. It'd be very cool. Be very cool. Be very happy with that.
It's very, very nice to see, and it's great that that whole team got to go and do this and get that. Like, it's awesome.
Yeah, because they've always said that it's a collaborative effort from the get-go, which is really great. And that, dear friends, is our show for today.
Brings us to the end of Games for Breakfast for Monday, February 9th, 2026. I kind of went like announcer human Skeletor there, and I don't know why. But I'll take it. Will, thanks for doing the show with me today.
Anytime.
And also, everybody on Twitch and YouTube, Brad and Jana, and of course, Rocky over on Nebula, thank you so much if you've made it to this part of the show. We really very much appreciate it. Do us a favor. If you are here right now, could you please, I'm going to try this. I was thinking about this before, and I meant to run this by Will before, but I didn't. Could you please tell a friend about this show that you think would like it? Like, actively, like, either message them, maybe send them a link. But honestly, if you see a person, verbally tell them that you like the show and they should come hang out on the show, or like with us when we're doing the show. Because I find those specific kinds of interactions are the best way possible to get fun and engaging people over here. And we'd love to have more of that and have more conversations with all y'all. And I want to keep it going.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can also message us on Blue Sky.
Yeah.
If you need to get a hold of us for any particular reason.
Yeah.
Day or night. We'll read it when we get to it.
Correct.
Where do we have our things?
Oh, yeah, it was set up for a different thing, but yes, we can.
I'm so sorry, Will. We have nameplates with our names on them. Wow.
Yes, and of course, don't forget to cancel your Discord Nitro subscription. Do it today. If you're watching
also,
this later, do it now.
Yeah. Also, thank you, Whoopsie. Appreciate it. But yeah. I guess that's it. I guess the only thing that's left
is to
do our patented sign off that we all do together as a family. Your two internet dad uncles. Have we decided what we are?
No.
Granddad uncles?
I don't think we ever will.
Okay. We basically want to make sure that at the end of the show, everyone goes into the week that is, in a sense of camaraderie and togetherness, knowing that we're all here for a love of games and discussing them, and just make sure we have the best possible week possible. So without further ado, I need you to join me in the thing that we understand is the same every time. Oh no. Oh no, is KnifeStabber here? No, God, the blade is keying out.